So today I have Steven here helping me, and I think the main purpose and goal for me today was to kind of go over some of the successes that I've been having with the Facebook ad campaigns, show you, a number of ads that I've been running personally. I've never been big on cold calling, running Facebook lead ads, typically for anyone that knows me, 98% of my business comes from referrals, sphere of influence, just past clients. So I wanted to take some time recently and see how I can implement different lead gen strategies within my own business. And I went to, plenty of Steven's classes in the past, and I still hadn't started applying the Facebook ad campaigns to my business until recently. And I started having, in the last 2 weeks, a ton of success with it. So I definitely just wanted to come on here and give you all an example. And Steven's going to help me today to kind of take you through command, take you through a live ad setup to see, so you can see specifically what ads are working for me, the activity that we're generating from it, and just to give you a clear idea of what is working with the Facebook ad campaigns. And we also wanted to do sort of a live workshop so that you could see as he goes through it. And I know Steven has taught this class plenty of times and he does amazing at it, but I think it's helpful to see what it looks like through my command and the ads that I've been running, and just different things that I've been doing to kind of convert them. So I think for me, it's very important for everyone to know that converting and following up is going to be the most important part of this process. I know initially when we first started with the Facebook command lead ads, I ran a few, and because I wasn't, adding them to smart plans, I wasn't consistently following up, I didn't have a ton of success, and I wasn't able to speak to, how it worked for me. So I changed my mindset. I started running ads and following up the way that I was supposed to, and I just want to share with you some of that today. So I'm going to go ahead and allow Steven to kind of take it over, share the screen and my command, and show you just a few ads that we've been running and kind of work with you together through your command. I'm hoping to set up an ad that you can start running today.
Right on. Thank you, Eva. Just to make sure everybody can see, is everyone looking at Eva's campaign screen? Can I just get some thumbs up and some reactions?
Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. And so you can see that we're just logged in here to her main dashboard. And so let's jump into the paid ad section so we can kind of look at what she was talking about. And so we're going to be talking a little bit about the leads and conversion and all this stuff in here. But I wanted to just kind of mention what these numbers here are really displaying for her ads. So you can see CPM is talking about impressions. Those are how many people are actually seeing your ad. The ad that we're going to build today is going to be a lead form ad. So you're going to see a little bit less on the impression side, but you'll actually see leads come in for those ads. And so it's good to be aware of what type of ad you're running, because there are two different types that you can run inside of Command. And they're both really good ads to run. You just need to know the differences so you can leverage them appropriately. But CPM, you're going to see it stays fairly low for these lead form ads, but then you can also run just landing page ads that it really pumps a lot of the ads to more people, but doesn't actually catch the lead. And so we'll talk about that. CPM is just the cost per 1,000 impressions. And so that's how much you're paying per 1,000 people to see your ad. CPC is cost per click, pretty obvious there. And then cost per lead is the next one in there. And you can see most of the ads that I've seen running in our area, average, I would say between $3 and $4 a lead, but you can kind of see them go up or down from there, just kind of depends on the ad. And then you can kind of do some more testing around those to really hone in what you can do and your success with that. So Eva, do you want to start by just creating a brand new ad?
Yeah, I think if we can create it from start to finish, that'd be helpful, and kind of go over the things that you've helped me implement to help generate more business with a specific ad. Because I know in the past I wasn't always able to reach as many people, and you definitely showed me different things to kind of tweak the ads to make them run more effectively. And I also want to mention that the ads that are on top, I just started running last night to kind of hopefully have some leads come in while we're doing the class to show you how they're generating. So the cost per lead is going to be a little bit higher on those, I think, because we just started running them last night. Is that right? Because I know if we scroll down a bit and you can see the ones that I've run over the past 7 days, the cost per lead is a lot lower.
Absolutely, Eva. And you know, another thing to put into consideration is that these generally you get the most success and the cheapest leads over the weekend and during the time that your ad is ran over that weekend. And so you can see a lot of the ones she has the lowest cost on are the ones that run through a weekend. We're going to be talking about best practices and really just building the best practice ad that Keller Williams recommends. They have a pretty big group of people running ads through Command as professional marketeers, and they've given us some really good best practices to kind of follow to help us build ads. And that's the ad we're going to build today. And so we're going to start by just clicking right here where it says create a new campaign. And we're just going to start off. This does come with the caveat that you've already connected your Facebook business page to this. We're not going to go through any of that. If you do need help with doing any of those kind of connections or making that happen to connect Facebook and Command, schedule some time with me personally and we can get that taken care of in less than 30 minutes. But we're going to choose a social ad paid today. This is where we can run ads through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. First thing we need to do is just name the ad. So we're just going to do the example. We might have to change that.
Where are you at? Where did you just jump in there, Steve?
Say that again?
I'm trying to figure out where you just went into.
So I just clicked on this button right here in the top right corner, create a new campaign.
Oh, okay. You were bot. Okay.
And if you guys have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat box and we can respond to them after, you know, he walks you through the campaign. But if you have, our hope is that you are able to do this side by side. So just go ahead and put the question in the chat box and then Stephen can get back to hopefully answering right after.
Thank you, Eva. So one thing you guys should know is when you select your goal in here, it's not going to really change much about the ad. A few pieces of text are going to pop up to give you suggestions in your copy. Depending on what you select here, it's not too expanded there. I'm generally putting in my own copy every time. The only one to be aware of that will change your ad is this one right here, advertise multiple listings. For the most part, that is a specific thing that you would want to do. It's not a lead form ad. You cannot run a lead form through this one. It's all just pumping it out to a landing page for these different listings. Slightly different. Again, that's a more advanced ad that we can talk about. So we can select one of these and attract buyers is the one that we're going to do. And mostly this is for your own data to be able to go back and look and see what kind of ads you ran, and to organize your ads to see which ones were the most effective when you're trying to go back and figure out what's going on there. Today, we're only going to run on Facebook. I find the most success to run one channel at a time. You are able to run more than one, but I generally am always just running one at a time, either through Facebook specifically, or if I want to run on Instagram, I run an ad only on Instagram. And we'll talk a little bit about why after we get through the ad. All right, so we're just going to do Facebook and set up the campaign. And so one of the most important parts of your campaign is your copy, the actual text that you're putting into the ad to get people to click. Now, one thing you're going to want to use is this little preview pane to the right. One of the best things you can do also is change this option from the web feed preview to the mobile feed preview. Most people that see your ad are going to see it on their cell phones. And so you want to look at your ad and design it the same way that most people will see it. And so we switch it to the mobile view because that's going to let us know when this 125 kind of character recommendation comes in, because that's about where you're going to see your text cut off on the mobile ad. Same thing with the 40 characters for the headline. And with that, I just kind of want to have Eva talk about how she gets her copy, where she comes up with this information.
So I think that was one thing that was holding me back in the beginning is I spent a few hours trying to figure out the best ad copy to use. What am I going to say? What's going to work? And then I realized that everybody before me has already done this and they've given us examples of very successful ads, and everybody's willing to share, which is, you know, one of the greatest things I think. So instead of me trying to figure out different ad copy to use, I went to a different class and I was able to to kind of look at ads that have had the most success. And I've just been researching, copying and pasting, and just using what other people are using before me that they've had a ton of success with. So we will can absolutely get you the list of different ad copy after the class. So that way, if you want to get creative and create your own ad copy, you know, absolutely, that's up to you. But I think for me, I've seen people having high levels of success using these different ads. So now I just have them already in a template, and I copy and paste them into my ads.
So I'm going to just drop in some copy that Eva's recently used on one of her ads. I really like some of the stuff that she's doing in here, and these actually reflect what Keller Williams recommends as well. The simple kind of recipe, I feel like for most ad copy, is you're going to put a hook first, something that's going to grab their attention. You can see ready for more space is what Eva used. And then there's some type of middle piece that is going to kind of encourage them to give them a little information about the ad. If it's a listing, it might be a few pieces of information about the home. If it's more general, you can see Eva just used another kind of general statement, see large homes in Denver, because this is actually going to plug them into a list on her website that they can look at all homes in North America on this website, and it's always branded to her. And so she used a simple tagline. And then the third part of the recipe is adding in that call to action, those three pieces. So it's that hook, a little bit of meat or information, and then the call to action to end it. And you can see she's in here at 132 characters, and all of those fit into our preview over on the right. And so I love to see that. The other thing that you're looking at here is Eva's using emojis. It has been seen in the data that ads with emojis they do better. And so use emojis, figure out which ones are appropriate for you to use in your ad. Don't make it too complicated. You can see right here, you have the little emoji menu that you can look into. I do recommend using this one if you have a MacBook or something that has emojis connected. Not all of the emojis will translate into your ad perfectly. I don't know if I have an example of one that isn't in here, but you'll see it show up as kind of it doesn't look like an emoji normally would. And so that just means it's not in the library that's in here. So just make sure they show up like the normal emoji would that you would expect it to, like you're seeing Eva's now. Let's see. And then headline. Eva, you want to talk about that a little bit?
I know we talked about the headline a little bit yesterday. Again, most of my stuff is just copying and pasting. I was originally kind of putting a larger headline in there, and I realized after doing some research that it's better to just be very short and direct with your headline, kind of give them a little bit of information about what to expect when they get to your landing page, and just keep it short, sweet, and simple to get them to click into your landing page that the Learn More button will take them directly to. And I think we wanted to talk a little bit about what the different pages look like once we get to the landing page. Steven's going to put together a few examples. But again, after this, I'd be more than willing to, send you the stuff that we've been using that we see has been working.
So one recommendation that Keller Williams has also found with success is use some kind of urgency here. Use that language that's going to build urgency around making sure that they see the value of this market, or they see the value of whatever your ad is kind of trying to get them to click into. So now the description, that part is not quite as important. If you're running lead form ads, ones that are actually clicking and submitting their information, the description does not show up. So if you do not put in a description, it's going to ask for one here because the ad is just defaulted to ask for it first. But once we make the change, the description will actually go away when we're running a lead form ad. If you're running a landing page ad, then that will show up because it's going to describe where you're going on that landing page. So we're going to just leave that with a couple of spaces in there and save our text. Let's see. All right, and let's talk a little bit about ad media. So the same thing, Keller Williams has been running lots of ads with multiple photos. You can run up to 5 photos for an ad. It will show up like a carousel of those photos. But what Keller Williams actually recommends is just using one single photo of the front of the house. And they've found the most success with things that look warm, possibly maybe a dog in the front yard. It's going to be something that it kind of works in conjunction with your copy. Try to make it make sense. So let's see, let me see if I have a good one to throw in here. as a good example.
I do want to say that if you don't have a listing, what I've done, and I've noticed the ads that I'm having more success with are an actual picture of a home, and it's one that I've listed in the past and I've gotten permission to be able to use that. But I know that if you reach out to people within the office and you're able to get permission to use just one photo, you know, from a listing to kind of put, I feel like for the ads that I've run, it draws their attention, and those are the ones that are getting the most success. Command also has stock images of houses available, so I've also used those ones as well. I've kind of played with a few different things. I've noticed for myself personally, if the picture has a ton of text on it, I'm getting less engagement with those ads. So I just keep it pretty simple, a home, either one that I've listed or a stock photo from Command. And again, you don't have to have a listing to advertise these. Just make sure, you know, to talk to me, to talk to anybody in the office that has a listing, that you can get permission to use that photo. I've noticed those are definitely ones that are having the highest amount of engagement.
Sorry guys, having a little trouble with getting the photo in there. One thing I do recommend with using this, you probably saw me kind of clicking through the different options. You can browse your design library, which is what I would recommend, opposed to dropping it in from a listing. As Eva mentioned, we do need to get permission if you're running anyone else's listing, and the listing agent does need permission from the seller as well. They can take care of that, but you need written permission to use someone else's photo in one of your ads. And so please make sure you get that, please make sure that you get that permission from a listing agent in writing so that you have it. But what I really recommend is get those photos from them as well. Get the photos directly from them, because then you can put them into your command, maybe add just a small logo or a small bit of text. Like Eva said, you don't want to go too much on there or cover the photos up too much, but you can add a little bit of extra, you know, complexity to your photo, putting it into designs first and then uploading it in there. A lot of times you use, if you use an image from the listing, you also might catch the RE Colorado watermark in there as well, which most people won't notice it, but just be aware of it. So I recommend getting those original photos from the listing agent. It is a couple of extra steps, but I think it's worth it. It's usually a higher quality photo as well, and you have a little bit more control of the content there. So I want to...
You're able to add an in, see where to find the stock ones that we have.
Eva, can you say that? I lost you a little bit there.
For this ad in particular, can we use a stock photo? That way everybody can see where to locate just the stock photos that are provided through Command.
Yeah, I was going to put one in, but like I said, I was with Zoom, my computer wasn't letting me upload the photo. And so there are a ton of stock photos in Command. That's a different class, designs and designing, you know, your content for this. Getting a stock photo in there is fine if you just use a stock photo from anywhere. Keller Williams does have some for us to use. Just make sure that you understand the rights of using that photo in an ad. And so just be careful with that. If you have questions, I'm happy to talk to you guys about that as well. Let's see. So we're just gonna jump out of the media section, and you can see we have that red marker. It won't let me run an ad with anything that has red there. We're always looking for green checks all the way down, but we can move on to the Facebook ads just in the interest of time. This is the most important section of when you're setting up your ads, you guys. This is where I see people make the most mistakes of not understanding what they're selecting. So option one is very simple. We're just selecting the page we want to run this on. You can have multiple pages connected like you see Eva has here. But you're going to just select the one that you have that you want to run those ads through. That's what's going to show up above the ad right here, Homes in Denver. That's what I'm selecting right here. If I switch it to Eva's RE, then you can see it switches up there. And so it's running on different pages. You select the one page you want them to run on. Number two is the destination. This is where I see most agents mess something up. If this is your first time running an ad, these are going to be both blank. And when you click on the lead form generation or the Facebook lead generation form, it's going to pop up a window and put you into Facebook for you to accept the terms to use that form. It only happens the first time you do it. But just remember, after you go and accept that form, you have to come back in and click that button again. Otherwise, it will default back to using the landing page and it won't run your ad right. So make sure that you have this clicked before you run an ad. And so here's the difference between these buttons. When I run an ad with the Facebook lead generation form, as I have it selected now, if they see my ad, they're gonna click, a window will pop up with their information already populated, and they have to hit submit in order to get to my landing page that we're gonna set up after this. Now, if I change the option to use a site or landing page only, if they see my ad and they click, now it's going straight to my landing page. I do not get to know any information about who's going to my landing page, just how many people are going to my landing page. Now, I might put a lead form on that page where they could fill it out then. Just know that that is a lot lower probability than getting leads through the lead generation form that Facebook uses, because it's a little bit more automatic. They don't have to do anything. It uploads the information from their original Facebook profile right into the form. So all they have to do is just click that submit button. All right, and so now we need to talk about the follow-up destination URL. So this is where we want them to go after they click our ad. And so there are a lot of options to use here. My favorite by far is using my Keller Williams agent site. It is the best place. It's connected to the IDX. People can search homes anywhere in America, and it's all gonna be branded to you, and they don't have to go anywhere else to look at any other homes. If you use a landing page, say for a listing ad, once they're done looking at that listing, they don't really have another place to go on a landing page. But if you put them on your website, they can stay there, they can look around at your different pages. You can see when I click on Eva's choose landing page option, it pulls up all of her pages, her agent home site, her download my app site, and the different the different landing pages she has created. But we need to actually make the page that we're gonna do now, where Keller Williams has a clever little system that we can kind of preserve a saved search and then use that as an active URL that will update based on the current information in the MLS. So let's make that website now. You guys see, are there any questions in the chat, Eva, that we need to take care of? I can't see it with sharing my screen on one.
I've been responding to them.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna go to Eva's website. What is your website, Eva?
Hometeam.kw.com. Short, sweet, and to the point.
All right, simple enough. And so we're gonna just jump in here and we're gonna open up a search. So we're just gonna pull in our current location, and you need to allow that. Now, this page will show up in the same area that you put on the map that I'm adjusting now. So if I saved it right here and just left it as it is, this is what the people would see when I drop them into this page. But I don't want them to see that. I want them to actually get a list of homes. And so we're just gonna zoom into the Denver metro area, and we're gonna put a couple of limitations on our search as well. You can see we're looking at over 1,000 properties here. So we're just gonna make a couple of adjustments. We're gonna drop the price down to $1 million. So we're just looking at homes under $1 million. And let's also bump up our price range here to 300,000.
Are we, for this specific ad, are we advertising homes under 400?
Nope.
Okay.
I think the only thing that we put in the copy for this that we kind of want to reflect is that they are larger homes. Because I believe this was the space copy or the more space copy that you used. We're going to select just houses. And I just wanted to share with you guys a few other filters that you can use to create some really interesting lists for ads. So you can come in here and scrolling down to the very last one of the more list, you can see we have two options at the bottom. Open houses only, so we can see only houses that are having an open house put into the MLS. So you could run ads around open houses. And then this is a really popular one, depending on the state of the market and the area that you're running the ad in. But price reduction ads are really nice too, where command will pull up anything that's had a price reduced in the last 7 days. And that's what they're looking at in that search. So you can run an ad that has that similar kind of copy or feel to it. But I'm not going to put any stipulations there. And this is all I'm going to leave. This is what they're going to see if I drop them onto this landing page, they click through my ad. but I need to do one step where I need to kind of preserve this link to tell Keller Williams Systems to say like, hey, I'm going to come back to this. So what I'm going to do is just come in and I need to copy this URL at the top and then open a new tab. All right, come on. There we go. And then all I'm going to do is paste that same link right in there and hit enter. And what that does is it just kind of preserves it in the system for Keller Williams to know that, hey, this is going to be something I want to come back to on my website and have it available for other people to also click into this link. And so now, once I've loaded it in a new tab, that preserves it for Keller Williams. And then now all I need to do is just jump back into my ad and put the same link in there. All right. So one step that I see sometimes people get hung up on is if they paste it in right now, just like you see it on my screen, they're going to catch that HTTPS at the beginning twice. So you can see if you just drop it in without deleting that first, you might end up with 2. So just be careful with that. Delete it out first, make sure it's blank, and then you can come in and paste your link. Command will make sure to check that link does work. And so we have that set up now. So now if somebody clicks into my ad, submits their information, they end up right on this page here, just like you guys are looking at.
And you can absolutely just connect them to your landing page. But I think what I learned from doing these with Steven is if we give them, if typically I'm running an ad that says, you know, homes under 400, or, you know, if you're looking to upgrade, we give them a specific criteria. So he showed me how to use this copy and paste and take them directly to the search criteria that we are offering in the ad campaign.
All right. So the last step that we're going to talk about in here is the ad targeting. And so it's going to default to your area, or if you put in a listing, it'll default to that area. Just know you can run ads in any part of North America through command. You can run them in different areas, Phoenix, Arizona, Cook County, Illinois. Those places have really high turnover and rates in between where we live. There are really good strategies and ways that you can use the referrals in command to help you know where to maybe run ads and get partnerships in those areas so that you might expand a little bit more. That's, again, another class. But let's talk about our location, or sorry, not our location, but the target, my database, versus targeting a custom audience. Most of you guys that are new to ads, you're gonna leave it as target a custom audience. Targeting your database requires you to have 100 people in there that have their Facebook connection, which generally means for most agents, 100 leads that have come in from Facebook will be able to be retargeted to once you hit that 100 threshold for that. So, but most of you guys, you're gonna just use a custom audience, and you're just gonna set the location and the radius. That is the simplest way to run an ad. Before I jump into this, I'm going to throw in a list for you guys into the chat of the expert targeting that most agents use, suggested from Keller Williams. So just give me a moment. Let me grab it for you guys. And I will drop that in the chat now. All right, so you guys should have that list in there. And that list is from right here in this expert targeting piece. So when I click add or change interests, I can select the different people that I want to be able to see my ad. And so one easy one that we can do is Zillow. When we hover over all of these interests are people who have expressed an interest in or like pages related to Zillow. And so those are most likely people I want to see my ad. Now, people who are interested in Premier Agent, I probably am not going to click, because those are probably agents and brokers that I'm not interested in those people seeing my ad. And so from the list, you can go through the list and type in the search bar and find all the different ones that I've recommended. There is a very large list. So you can use a lot of different targeting, but this list is limited from Facebook and the FCC that says who we can target or how we can target people through these. So you're not going to find very specific things. Like you won't find golf as an interest in here. You won't find certain things that are that specific, but you will find a lot of different ones. There's architectural pieces that you can put into here, condos, duplex, different pieces. I think, I'm trying to think, luxury cars and all kinds of different stuff. The list is literally thousands of different ones long, but I've given you kind of the cheat code section for what we use a lot in real estate. And so use that list. I would say use all of them, maybe use a handful of them. I generally shoot for in between like 5 to 15 interests, just depending on the ad, depending on what I want to do. Let me see here. The only thing I do want to warn you guys about with this is understand the difference between and or. Most of you will never need to change it to and. You can leave it as or, and you don't need to do anything else. That is the best way and the way that almost all people run ads. If you want to be very specific about who sees your ad, that's when you will use and, because then it's saying not anybody who has any of these interests, but they have to have this specific interest and this specific interest to be able to see my ad, not one or the other. So make sure that you understand the difference there, but I can tell you most agents only need to use or. And for most ads, or does really well. Eva, do you ever use and in any of yours?
If I did, you helped me fix it. Not anymore.
All right.
There was a couple of questions I wanted to talk about really quickly. Sway asked if we could target 2 different cities at one time.
So not through one ad. What you would do is just take this ad, and then when you're finished with it, even before you run it or while you're running it, you would duplicate the ad and then just come in and change the location for that specific ad, and then you can run those 2 ads at the same time. But not in one specific ad can you target 2 different areas. You just have to create multiple.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good thing. I was doing some research last night, and I've seen a ton of other agents that have a pretty extensive referral network to, even if you don't have one, to get in touch with agents from other areas, or even, you know, if you've moved here recently and the majority of your, you know, database is in another state, you can still target those areas. You can target anywhere basically, and just connect with the referral partner through command as well. I did see one ad that people were running that was having a ton of success that we talked about a little bit, Steven and I, was recent price reductions. And I know the agent that ran the ad yesterday had 33 leads at about $1.50 per lead, and it was just price reductions. I know that's not, you know, something that's really happening in our market because, you know, we're not seeing a ton of price reductions, but that's an ad you can certainly run and target a specific area where it is, you know, where there are reductions, and then just connect with a referral partner and send the lead through command. I think there was another question I kind of wanted to touch on briefly. Sorry. Krishna asked a little bit about, you know, the different ads that we're running for sellers. I will say I just started the seller ones, but after talking to Steven and a few other people, the seller leads are definitely a little bit more expensive, and they don't come in as frequently as the buyers. However, we did work a little bit yesterday on an ad that it's buyer targeted, but it's aimed towards sellers that are upsizing or downsizing. So it was just changing some of the verbiage, like changing the price point, some of the things that we've done. So definitely, you know, after this, we can go into the ad that we ran specifically to target somebody who would have a home to sell first and then buy up, or either, you know, sell a home and downsize.
Right on. Any other questions while we're on a little pause? You guys can just jump into the voice part if you guys want right now, if anybody has any questions that we can address.
Did you
I have a question.
Copy and paste Dina asked for the list of recommendations for interest. I think you posted it in the chat, but we can also send that to you after in an email.
I did put it in the chat.
Okay, sorry about that. I will take a look. Thank you.
You're fine. We've had a lot of activity since then. So if you scroll up a bit, there was a list of targeted interests.
Hey, Steven.
Yes, sir.
So do you have to have a Facebook business page, or can it be a community page as well to run ads?
I believe it has to be a business page because it has to be connected to the Facebook business page manager, which is what the ads actually go through and run through. Good question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I heard you get more engagement from community pages. That's why I asked.
And I think you absolutely will, but that's, I think, a different style of lead generation for social media, right? You're doing more of an organic, you get popular or you get success from those by engaging in those pages, by expanding those pages organically. You can boost into those pages to kind of boost your organic view from there, but I probably wouldn't suggest putting too much money into boosting or at all. Again, we can talk about those differences, but I just think that's a slightly different lead generation model than doing Facebook ads, because both great ways, just a little slightly different way to use Facebook.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Good question. Any others?
I would also like to mention that I created, sorry, go ahead.
Are you sure, Eva?
Yeah, go ahead, Ruben.
Okay, wonderful. So my question is, what do you do, or how do you get notified once you have a lead that comes through? Does it just pop up in your notifications in Command?
Yes. So there's a few ways that you're going to see this happen. If you have Kelly on your phone and you have notifications turned on for Kelly on your phone, then you'll get a little ping that'll tell you that you got a lead, and it'll tell you their name of that lead. Now, I will be honest, Kelly is a sore point for me. It doesn't really get much more in depth than that, than just seeing that the lead came in and seeing their name. Trying to contact them even through Kelly can sometimes be a pain. What I do there is that's when I just log into Command, right? And you can log into Command on your phone. It's not quite as smooth as on the desktop, but you can go in there through your phone and just get into Command. You'll see that Eva has this little red dot above the bell. That's going to tell you that you have leads in there. And so you'll get that notification as well. But ultimately, I'm just going from there and going right into that lead in here so that I can just make that connection, put them on a smart plan, and usually make that first phone call.
And I will say those are live leads that are coming in from the ads that we started last night.
Hey, Steven, I also noticed I've been running an ad, and I noticed that there's an email that comes from Facebook that also notifies me that I have a lead. It goes to my email.
And that's great to hear. That's an integration that has been happening. It seems to be rolling out slowly because I get them on mine and I have agents that don't. Hopefully everybody will start seeing that. I haven't seen it be generalized to everybody. I haven't really seen it be too much of an announcement either. And so if you do kind of see that going on, that's good. But I don't know if everyone's going to see it. Ruth, you might just be some of the lucky few right now.
Okay.
Okay. And last question, Steven. So when they click the learn more, does that automatically prompt them to ask for their information, or
so it doesn't,
or how do they capture that lead?
And so it doesn't actually ask them for the information. That window pops up. It's going to have their name, phone number, and email address already populated for them, and they just have to hit submit. And if you're running format,
wonderful.
Submit, and then it goes to the landing page.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Steven, there's a question on here. If we can run ads that say send message, or does it have to go through the lead forms?
So right now we can only go through the lead form. There has been a lot of recommendations on a website that you guys should all know about called ideas.kw.com. This is where you can go to submit ideas, vote up other people's ideas. And what I've been hearing on the tech side of things, Gary Keller forces Josh Teams and Jason to read him the different ideas weekly from this webpage. So they're trying to figure out, what do agents want? This is the way that we communicate to them to get that. You guys will find that exact recommendation of adding the send message button as an option in campaigns for you guys to go in there and vote up. The more things you vote up, the more it gets to the top where we get to see those and more immediately and get those in front of Gary Keller more immediately. So again, that's ideas.kw.com. You do need to have the login just like you would for answers.kw or mykw.kw, you're going to use that same login if you do need to log in there. All right. Any more questions? Those are some really good questions. Or should we move on to the last little phase?
There was a few questions in here that we can touch on. Let's see. Pete suggested using command on the mobile browser, which I have done as well. If you don't have access to your laptop in front of you, you can log on. Command is not as effective through the mobile browser. However, I still can log on and check my notifications and get a link to call them through my phone. So yes, absolutely great suggestion, Pete. Let's see. Sorry, there was a couple.
Just so you guys all know, command, the reason that Kelly's kind of been like, meh, is because they have been focusing on creating a true command app. That's going to be an app that's on your guys' phone. I think the integration is going to be so much better between talking about messaging and notifications and all that being in one environment for your phone, built for your phone. And the timeline on that, I'll be honest, I'm really crossing my fingers to get a release by family reunion next year. I think they might do it before then, but I'm excited to see the command app. It's gonna kind of really turn that mobile game up for us as agents, because I know agents are looking for more of an agent-centric app, unlike the consumer-centric app that we have now that's been, or the newer consumer-centric app that we have now. All right.
And I will say I still use my Kelly app just for the notifications because it's through Facebook. So I do use my app for notifications, but I know that, you know, that lead. Sway did ask, does the lead cap?
I'm sorry, Eva, you're cutting in and out there too. Couldn't hear your question.
Does, when somebody submits a lead, does it capture the Facebook URL of that lead?
It does put it in there, yes.
The good thing about running these, you can run them directly through Facebook. I would definitely recommend, if you have the resources, to run it through command for a number of different reasons. But what it does is automatically capture, once they select submit information through Facebook, it automatically captures them and enters them into your command. So I started running, my ads went active pretty late last night, and I started getting leads. And because, of course, I didn't want to call anybody that late, I immediately went into my command. They were already uploaded with their information, and I tagged them onto a smart plan, which we'll talk more about here in a bit, but just a Facebook lead follow-up smart plan. That way, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to connect with them last night, it's going to start communicating with them pretty early this morning to let them know, like, hey, I'm here, I can help you, to give me some time to be able to go ahead and give them a call. It's already sending them text and email on my behalf. Carlos said that he's not been getting notifications at all. Is it something that's happening? If not, how does he address that? You may need to change your ads. You might not have any leads coming in. Go ahead, Steven.
If you do have leads coming in and you're not getting any notifications about it, we need to check to see, well, A, do you have notifications turned on in Kelly? Do you have Kelly on your phone? That's another one. Some people are confused what Kelly is, and it's not the KW app. So that would be the first two places. If it's not that, then we need to check some other things inside of your personal command. So that's a good opportunity to schedule time with me. We can kind of just figure that out. And if it's a bigger issue, we submit it to support, and we have a great support system here, the Colorado region. We have a lot of champions for us that when you guys are working with me on those issues, I can push them up a little bit faster for some issues that if we can't get solutions right away. And so working with me on those things, Carlos or anyone else, please just schedule that time again. We can get a lot of things done in 30 minutes. All right. Any more questions, Eva?
Unless I skipped any, I don't see any other ones, but you guys are all more than welcome to chime in if I missed your question.
All right. In that case, let's just wrap up this with talking a little bit about duration and budget. Now, this is really simple. One thing to know is you can't start an ad the day that you hit publish. It will start as soon as the next day. As you saw Eva, she put hers in. Those ads will be under review. It'll say it'll start that next day, but it'll usually, I've seen it do this more and more. It'll actually usually start running that night before, which you saw some of Eva's ads coming in really early this morning, or some leads coming in early this morning. But just Thursday is a great day to have this class because that means that you guys can run an ad tomorrow. And Friday is one of the best days to start an ad. And the reason is Keller Williams recommends running your ad over 2 weekends. And so the best way to do that is to publish your ad on Friday. It starts running pretty much Friday night. And then Saturday morning, it's in full force. It starts running that first Saturday. It moves into Sunday, it's running, and it runs all through that next week and through the next weekend and ending on that Monday. That 10-day duration is what they suggest. Now, your campaign budget is very specific on what you can handle, but no, you're paying for them to put this in front of people. The more money you tell them to put, or the more money you put in, the more people are going to see it on these lead forms. You saw those results of, you don't have to have a ton of people see them to get leads. Facebook does a great job, and our Pixel does an even better job of knowing who to put these in front of. And so trust it, but you just need to know that, if I brought this down to only $10, I'm spending $1 a day. Why is this calculating? Oh, because I selected that page. There we go. So $10, $1 a day. If you see our examples, and I'm telling you guys that we're getting leads for about $3 a lead, and you're only spending $10, you should expect maybe 2 to 3 leads. And if that's how many leads you can handle, that absolutely should be your spend here. But what I could recommend more, if you have the capital for your business, is run the ad for a little bit more, even more than you think you might be able to handle. And here's why. If I bump this up to say $40, and I'm running this ad and it goes really well the first weekend and I have 20 leads after 5 days or so and I can't handle that many, you can turn the ad off. You'll see that when your spend goes up incrementally each day, going up a little bit, and if you pause it halfway through the campaign, then if the campaign never gets turned back on and it ends, that money gets refunded back into your command account and gets applied to the next ad that you run. And so the nice thing is, so one thing you guys should know is you're going to get charged this amount once the ad gets published. You'll get charged the $40 from Keller Williams once the ad gets published. But if you pause it and wait for it to end without restarting it, that's when you get the refund. But it all stays inside command. So just be aware of that. You'll see your refunds when you go to pay for it, or when you submit it and it pops up the pay screen. It'll tell you how many credits you have being applied, or excuse me, how much of a refund that will be applied from previous ads. All right. That is it with setting up the Facebook ad. So just a quick review. When you guys are putting in text, make sure to not use too much text. Use emojis in there. Use verbiage that is going to create urgency. Use this mobile view to see what it looks like on phones to make sure your ad looks the way that you want for what most people will see. Ad media, we talked about using one picture of the front of the house. That is your best way. I apologize for not getting one loaded in there for you guys. And then the Facebook ads. Just a reminder, this option here is actually the lead form option. This is what 90% of agents want to run most of the time, so that little lead form box pops up before they go to your landing page. If you select this option, it's just going straight to the landing page. No lead information being transferred to you. So know the difference. They're both great ways to run ads. When I do listings, I run both of these. I run lead forms and site or landing page for lots of reasons. This is where you can switch these up. We do have more options than just learn more, but you can see no send message options still. Most agents use learn more. These other two, they work in specific situations, but not as many as learn more does. We talked about targeting. You guys got that list, using that custom audience, and we talked about the budget. And once you run a few ads, you guys, you'll start to get pretty good at this. And the other trick to use when you're doing this is duplicating ads. When you start running ads that are successful, the best thing to do is to just rerun them again. Maybe we tweak them. And so you can see, I could grab one of one of Eva's active ads or completed ads, click on these 3 buttons, and I get the option to duplicate on either one of these. What I would want to do is duplicate and customize. And then you can see it's just going to give me that same exact ad, adjust the duration for what's appropriate. I can make any small changes or any tweaks I need to, and then I can run that same ad again without actually having to put in all that work, because it's all right here already. You can see this is the one that Eva ran before that we just recreated from scratch, but then everything's already in there for you guys. And that's, I mean, you'll spend a little time at first going through all this, but it's worth your time. All right, let me see if I can stop my share and bring it back. All right. So Eva, that's all I had on the campaign part of it with the ads. Is there any other pieces you wanted me to talk about right now?
I think it's important to know that with the ads that we're running, for me, the most important part has been my follow-up process, the systems that we're using to kind of reach out. I ran ads previously, and I had, I want to say, not the best mindset around it because of the things that I was doing while I was running them. What I would do is I'd run an ad and I'd end up with maybe 10 leads. I would wait, a few days. I would download the list of leads, kind of work myself up to call them. And then by the time I got around to reaching out, nobody remembered submitting their information. They didn't know why I was calling. I wasn't having success with following up. So I think speed to lead is very important. And I've learned just running these new ones that I set aside time because I saw that they were getting the leads coming through, and I knew, hey, I'm gonna probably need this whole day to kind of return the calls. And I saw that once I was returning them very quickly, people were remembering why I called them. I had a much higher level of success with the conversations that I was having. And I think honestly, I want to say that the results that I've seen this past week probably aren't as typical, or they weren't anything that I've seen in the past, but it also could be because of the times that I was running them. And that was the thing that was important to me, to kind of do some of the work, so that way when we give the information to you, I've already kind of noticed what days are more effective, the ads that are having the most amount of success, and just kind of relay that information to you. There was one time I spent $50 on an ad, and I ran it for 10 days. And I noticed I ended up with a lot less leads. So I know Steven mentioned, on another ad, I spent 2 days over the weekend, and I only did $20 a day. So I ended up spending $40, which was less. Twice. Out of the 27 people that I ended up with leads from, I called them pretty quickly. I spoke with 10 of them. 6 of them I was able to set a follow-up appointment for. And so far right now we have 3 people to the lender. And I think, it's very important to know that you may not be getting the best quality of leads initially, but they're, if we're running these right, we should be able to get them closer to under $2 for a lead. And it's just a numbers game. The more people that you talk to, you're going to find, that lead that you're looking for. But also it's important to know that these are going to be nurture leads. So I'm excited to see, what my first quarter is going to look like if I'm, adding them to the smart plans, following up with them the way that I, should be, and just getting in front of as many people as possible. I did have one, she didn't respond to me immediately. I put her on a smart plan, and my command was text messages to follow up. Well, she ended up texting me and said, hey, I'm not ready to right now, but my friend is, here's her phone number. Funnel going to take some work, but they show different sort of online, but you're form that takes them to my agent site. And that's where I've seen the lowest cost per lead is with that ad. I'm running a few others right now, so I'm excited to kind of share those results with you as they come in over the weekend. But you know, once we get out of here, just shoot me an email. We'll send you everything that we kind of went over today. Give you, you know, everything that I've done is because I've taken it from somebody else in Keller Williams, and they've been willing to share their knowledge and share the ads that are working for them. And you know, we're absolutely going to be able to send that to you. So just reach out after this. We'll get you the targeting that works, the ad copy. You know, I will check and make sure if I have a listing photo that I can share with you, I'll absolutely get it out to you to kind of alleviate some of that work if you don't have a photo that you can use to make it a little bit easier.
And Eva, sorry, my Zoom kicked me out for a moment. There were a couple questions in the chat around smart plans. I lost the chat as well. I think somebody asked what smart plan you were using, and I'm not sure which one you were using, but I know that one that I've used or built mine off of is Nick Baldwin's smart plan, which you can search in the library. He has a Facebook lead smart plan. Marty Miller in the 66-day challenge also has a Facebook lead smart plan in there. But one thing with that is when I'm using those, I'm going in and editing them before I actually put them on someone. And I make a new smart plan for every kind of ad that I run, because there's links included in those smart plans, dropping them to those same kind of search pages that we made earlier, that you can make the same exact way and drop those links into the text messages and emails that you're sending. Let's see, give me just a second, guys. And the other thing that I'm doing is making sure that the audience that I'm getting from that ad is appropriate for the smart plan that I'm sending them. So I'm making tweaks, and in the same way that we copy and duplicate ads, we can copy and duplicate smart plans as well, make the necessary tweaks we need for that specific smart plan, and move on from there. And just put everybody onto that. A lot of the smart plans and these ones that are designed, they're all designed to be taken off of that lead once you make that contact. Because once you make contact with the lead, you should be switching them from a lead to a contact once you've had that conversation with them. And then at that point, you can decide to make them into an opportunity, or if they might be just a lead still in your database that you need to continue to market to through the monthly neighborhood nurture, the quarterly call plan, or the biweekly neighborhood nurture, the birthday call plan, or the birthday smart plan. All these are designed to help you guys stay in touch with those leads. And then when you are ready, you put them into the opportunities. And for me, I drop any lead or any person into the opportunities section of my cultivate section if I think they're going to do business in the next 18 months to build out that pipeline for my business. And so that's where leads go after you do talk to them or get them that success with the smart plan, and you get them to answer back. You have that conversation, that's when you can put them into your cultivate section to move them through the pipeline to that finished mark. I think I saw a question earlier as well about the rates at which people are getting leads to contracts. To be honest, I don't know any like specific data for the region or for the area. From what I hear though, generally you're looking at about a 10% conversion rate on average across America for these leads, which is just like Eva said. I would disagree. I wouldn't say that these are not high quality leads. These are just leads you have to have a different mindset around, like she said. The average length of time it takes one of these leads to close is 9 months. That's why Command is built the way it is, because they know these stats. They know this information, and Command is built to help you get them through that whole time, and you stay top of mind while they're getting through those 9 months, because that's really the name of the game here. You guys are going to start generating leads, but it's not going to mean anything to your business until you learn how to convert those leads. And so that's what Eva's talking about here too, of how much effort you're putting in, how quickly you're getting to those leads is very important. Speed to lead, you're shooting for 5 minutes, right? That's the most successful agents. That's where their speed to lead sits for this kind of lead conversion. So just know your expectations, right? Know that these do take work. They are cheap. They are inexpensive leads to get. You will get them, but you have to do the back end work and use Command to help leverage your business a little bit so you guys don't have to do all of that manually. That's all I had to say, Eva. I'll let you take it from there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I agree. Again, it's not that they're not high quality. It's just that we're going to have to do, if this is the type of lead generation that, you know, we're going to focus on, it's definitely going to take more, you know, conversations, running the ads, more follow-up. It is more work, but they're absolutely people that are looking for help. They want to buy. It may take a little bit longer to build that relationship. But just from my last week of experience, I mean, I have 3 people with the lender, one who is, you know, super close to being pre-qualified. So I'm definitely, I will update everybody to kind of give you an idea of how the process is playing out from the leads that I've worked with. But I'd say, you know, with only 33 leads in the last week, because of the different ads, having even one closing for the $100 and I believe $60 now that I've spent is absolutely going to be worth it once we get it closed. And I think for me, the most important thing that I want to kind of relate to you again is just the mindset behind it, you know, getting out there today. I'm hoping, I did this on Thursday because I think it's important to know, like, hey, if you want to hop on a call after this, let's get your ad going. And it's going to go active tomorrow. You're going to get the most engagement over the weekend just from the numbers that I've seen. So I would encourage you to definitely, you know, once you get off of this call, to get your ad going. You know, I know we can sit there and kind of think about, well, this, how am I going to do this? And how am I going to do that? Like I have always been the one that kind of thought about things way too much before I implemented it. And I decided, hey, I'm just going to jump in there if I want to talk about this. And if I want to show people how it's working, I just have to hop in there and do it on my own. And everybody knows, like, this has never been my cup of tea. Like, I'm a referral person. I can talk to you all day if I know you, but like getting in front of people that I didn't know was very hard for me. And it's just been, you know, extremely helpful this past week to just get in there and do it. So I definitely want to encourage you all to just run an ad, make those calls, get comfortable being uncomfortable, and let's get some business. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, send me an email after this and I'll get you all of the information that we shared today, and hopefully we can get your ads up ASAP. Thank you, Steven. I definitely appreciate you more than you know.
You're welcome. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate seeing all you guys. Look at all you guys on your videos, still sitting with us for over an hour with your videos on. I appreciate all that. And I'm excited to see you guys in my classes, scheduling time with me. I like building these ads, and I like to empower you guys to do it as well. And the creativity of what you can do with command and just ads in general, there's so much that we can do. So even if it's a masterminding session with, can I do this, can I do that? And we just talk for 30 minutes, schedule time with me. I'm here for you guys.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.